Every single day in our life, there is simultaneously some kind of problem happening at the same time as having some kind of advantage that we can go lean into. What connections do I have? Who do I have over here that can give me some advice? What assets do I have that I can still use to keep this thing alive? And it's turning out good, guys. But it wouldn't have if I would have simply been a spectator of all the shit going on instead of an active participant in using the things I still had left in my favor.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful for how freaking well the elite level mastermind week went last week. We had so much fun with everybody, and we moved the needle so dang much for everybody. If you remember, we have two masterminds, and this is the higher level one. This is the one where everybody has to be earning over $500,000 in their business per year to get in there, and most of them are 7- and 8-figure businesses. Now, we had our last in-person event last week. It was 3.5 days long. It was full of so much connecting, so many idea shares, so many like lifting the curtain on here's what I'm doing, here's what's coming next, here's what's working, here's what's not working. So many great speakers. It couldn't have gone off any better. And I'm so grateful to all the members who come and show up for each other and take advantage of this container that we absolutely love building. Now, here's what's really cool. That's also the one where we say, hey, anybody that wants to renew for 2026, let us know now so that we know how many spots to fill. And just like every single year, roughly half the room renews, and that means there's not that many spots. Plus, we're going to make it even more intimate this year than we did last year. That means a few less spots. So what does that mean for you? It means you need to apply right away if you want to get into that 2026 crew. If you're going to earn over $500,000 in 2026, again, most of the room is 7- and 8-figure businesses. So fight to get into that room if you have to. But if that fits the description of your business, then you have to rush over and fill out the application so you and I can have a talk to see if you're a right fit for the room. Now, what constitutes a right fit? Here, it's this simple. Every year, I work hard to curate a room where everything you need is in that room or one introduction away. So that means just because your business might be bigger or smaller than somebody else's doesn't make you a right fit. What makes you a right fit is I know what we need in the room to deliver on that promise, right? I know that we need, I'm just going to make something up, an attorney over here and a tax specialist over here and a marketing specialist over there. And we need someone who's great at sales copy over there. And so I try and put all the right pieces together so everything you need for all of 2026 is in that room or one introduction away. Now, every year for 8 years, luckily, I have pulled that off. And Lori and I want to do the exact same thing for 2026. Yes, she is my co-host for this one. So listen, if you want to lock arms in person at our highest level in 2026 and share ideas with other really successful business owners who you're also locking arms with, if you're looking for like a business family, a business posse for 2026, and you're going to earn over 500K, then I'm not kidding when I say right now, hit pause, rush over to chrisharder.me/mastermind and click apply. Fill out the app. You and I will have a Zoom to see if it feels good for you or not. But there's no way to know if you're a great fit and to see if it feels good to you unless we jump on Zoom and have a conversation about it. So seriously, hit pause, go over to chrisharder.me/mastermind and click apply. That is chrisharder.me.me/mastermind and click apply. I can't wait to see how I end up curating the room for 2026 because all the individuals who renewed have already created such an awesome foundation, like some of my all-time favorite people. All right, so I want to talk to you. I want to tell you a story about perspective. As we're building businesses and we hit challenges, as we're living life and we hit challenges, hell, as we're navigating so many changes in the world and we hit challenges, it's easy to kind of feel like life is just kicking your ass. It's easy to feel like things are happening to you. And in a way, things are happening to you if that's the perspective that you take and if you let them. Let me kind of share a story with you. Lori and I go for a walk every single day, as you know. We walk the dogs. And we meet all these really cool people in the neighborhood, and it feels like a little community. We get to know everybody. And we came across somebody new on our walk. His name was Mitch. He had just moved into this home, and he was out watering his grass. So we struck up a conversation with him early in the morning. I think it was last Saturday. Early last Saturday, having a little morning chat with him. And, so I asked him a little bit about himself, and he went on to explain that he had just moved into this neighborhood because he needed a fresh start from everything. And of course, that kind of prompted me to say, tell me more. What did you need a fresh start from? And he went on to say that he lost his sister to cancer, who was living with him and was one of his best friends just a couple of months ago. And he was taking care of her. And he lost her to cancer just a couple of months ago. And then, shortly after that, he lost his dog, who was his literal best friend and only companion. Now, think about this. Those are two big punches to the gut. Those are two big, examples of life just lifing you, right? And I'm sure that you can probably relate. Maybe it's stuff that's happening to you right now. Maybe it's stuff that's happened to you in the recent past. Maybe it's stuff that happened to you in the way past. Or maybe it's stuff that you're kind of afraid that you see right around the corner. But the one thing that we can't change is that once in a while, just like it did for Mitch, life is going to really life on you. So then I went on to ask him, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear this. How you doing now? How you getting through it? And his answer surprised me. He said, I'm actually doing much better. And he perked up as he said this. He said, I'm actually doing much better. And it was this next part that really struck me and was the point of this episode that I wanted to share with you. Actually, guys, hold on a sec. I'm going to interrupt this podcast for something really, really important. And if you've been a long-time listener, you know I have never, ever interrupted my podcast to share something before. But the reason why I believe it's so important is I just had my annual tax and wealth planning meeting. And I've been given access, just like every year, to so many incredible tax saving hacks, so many privileged moves that I can make with my family office, that it's kind of unfair that everybody else doesn't get these. Now, if you're familiar with the family office, you have to have a certain level of wealth to be able to work with one. And most people listening probably can't just go and work with my family office. And so the reason why I haven't brought this up before is I haven't actually had a solution for you until now. A solution, quite frankly, that is so important, I'm interrupting this podcast for it. Now, dear friends of mine started a company a while back called True Wealth. And not only do I trust them dearly, I have watched what they have done with my friends and my clients to be able to coordinate their tax situation, their business compliance situation, their insurance situation, and their personal wealth management. Because these are not separate things. This is the number one mistake I see entrepreneurs make. They go out and they piece together these separate people for their business compliance and for their tax situation and for their personal wealth building, and they don't work together. Except that's the problem. Each one of these things actually depend on each other to maximize the savings. And I don't mean by a little bit, I mean by a ton. Because I trust True Wealth so much, I am sharing this with you right now, not as an ad, because I am not getting paid for this, but because I believe it's that important for you to explore. If you have a multiple six-figure business, preferably they're a good fit for those with a seven-figure business or close to it or higher, then I want you to hit pause real quick and set up a free call with my friends. Set up the call at chrisharder.me/wealth. That is chrisharder.me.me/wealth. I'm telling you, you can't afford to piece these things together anymore. you are wasting so much money. And if you're sick and tired of feeling like you're working too hard to have too little money left, these are the people that'll fix it, because there's a lot of money out there that you don't realize that could be left over that you don't have access to. So just set up the free call. They're my friends. I've literally never interrupted a podcast for something like this before, so you know it's important. Go to chrisharder.me/wealth, and then let me know how it goes. I'll let them know that you're calling. All right, back to the episode. Because he went on to say, I'm doing much better now, but only when I started becoming an active participant in my life rather than a spectator of all these circumstances. And I was like, whoa, someone just definitely went to school and did some deep work. Let me repeat what he said, because it was so good. He said, I'm doing better now, but only when I started becoming an active participant in my life rather than a spectator of my circumstances. Now, his circumstances were big, right? His circumstances were legit. He lost his sister to cancer, who he was taking care of. And then shortly after, he lost his dog, who's his best friend and companion. I mean, guys, these are not small things. Yet he had the perspective that he was somehow letting things happen to him. He was being a spectator instead of an active participant. And of course, I went on to ask him even more about that. And he said, well, I was just concentrating on the fact that everything felt like it was happening to me instead of actively participating in seeing the good things that are also unfolding for me every single day. Again, remember the big challenges he faced. Remember some of the big challenges you're facing. The challenges are real circumstances, but there are also simultaneously good things going on that you can actively participate in. And I know this is hard when you're getting punched in the gut and then you get kicked in the face and it feels like challenge after challenge after challenge is happening to you. I know it's hard to change your perspective that day and say, these things are happening to me, but I can also be an active participant in the good things I have going in my favor. But you have to. Because what's your choice otherwise? Is it to just keep sitting back and being a spectator of these tragic events happening and then sulking and sitting in them? Or is it to say, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and yes, while these things are simultaneously happening to me, I'm going to also go look for the things that are going in my favor. I'm going to concentrate on those and I'm going to use those to my best of my ability to live a great life or to grow my business or to accomplish my goals or to set myself up, whatever it is that you wake up for every single day. When he shared this with us, it really struck a chord with us. I think all too often, life gets so busy and sometimes so tough that it's easy for us to become passive participants, simply reacting to whatever's happening to our left and to our right, instead of being active participants who are calling the shots and actively looking for what we still have as resources in our favor. Where does this show up in your business? You wouldn't be listening to a podcast like this unless you were building a business or building some big dreams. Where does this type of thing show up in your business and in your goals as well? Are you letting things happen to you and then are you concentrating on them? Are you letting them stack as you are being a spectator of them? Or, while those things are factually happening, are you choosing to be an active participant, saying, I still have this over here that I can pursue. I still have this asset over here that I can use. I still have this relationship over here that I can lean on. I still have this connection over here that I can call on. Because I'll tell you, that's how I navigate. That's how Lori navigates. Every single day in our life, there is simultaneously some kind of problem happening at the same time as having some kind of advantage that we can go lean into. And I think one of the things that we've done well, remember, we've had some real big problems. I came off the worst 18 months of my life. If you go back and listen to some of those podcast episodes, right? I told you I had a stroke in September of 2024, and then severe depression from my neural pathways that were all rewired and having problems. And then I tore my bicep and tore my shoulder and had to have surgery and rehab and had plenty of other problems with Frello and building out the pivot and paying into this company instead of, getting paid by a company. Like, guys, challenge on challenge on challenge. Those are facts. But instead of being an observer of those things, instead of being a spectator of them, I simultaneously was a participant in determining our outcome. And Lori does that exact same thing. Who do I have over here that can help me? Who do I have over here that can give me some advice? What assets do I have that I can still use to keep this thing alive? What connections do I have in order to make launch when we launch that much better? And ooh, it's turning out good, guys. It is turning out good, you're about to see. But it wouldn't have. It wouldn't if I would have simply been a spectator of all the shit going on instead of an active participant in using the things I still had left in my favor. And so I share this story of Mitch, who just moved in down the street, who lost his sister to cancer and then shortly after his dog and everything else. I share the story of him saying, well, you know, I'm actually doing pretty damn good because I stopped being a spectator, started being an active participant. That changed everything. And I wanted to share that message with you so that no matter what's happening to you, whether it just happened recently or whether it's right around the corner, because these things are inevitable, you will know that you can be in full control of your destiny and your outcome by keeping yourself in the game as an active participant. And that is all I ever want for you. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you. I hope that you found this useful. Please pass it along to somebody else that might need it. And for the love of God, get those applications in because it's first come, first serve for the elite level mastermind, meaning I do the interviews in the order that the applications come in, and there are not going to be that many seats. So go to chrisharder.me/mastermind and click apply right away if you're going to earn over $500,000 in 2026. Trust me, this is the room you want to be in, as proven by the number of people that re-up year after year after year after year, saying, I'm never leaving this family. I don't know how I'd survive without him. chrisharder.me/mastermind, click apply. chrisharder.me/mastermind, click apply. Thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.